digits.
10 episodes already. We're cramming them in. But
Yeah.
this one's a special one again. I'll let Dan explain what we're doing today.
Well, yeah, you can probably see the boards behind us. And if you saw our episode 2 weeks ago, we did our wrestling draft, and I think that kind of inspired some other ideas. We really enjoyed doing our wrestling draft, where we just drafted our dream promotions, and now we're kind of doing like a draft format to kind of reveal to you like our dream teams, kind of like a fantasy. I mean, we're going to do a fantasy draft of hockey.
Yeah.
I
A
think
lot of these players, I think on both sides, we're going to have some of our favorite cool players that
that
necessarily aren't superstars, but we've loved them growing up. So it's going to be an interesting episode. I think we're both going to have interesting teams. I think we're both actually going to want some of the same players because we're both very
yeah,
similar,
I
right?
think so. I expect to see a lot of great names from the early and mid 2000s.
I can see that. And I like my grinder type players, so I'm hoping not to get into too much of them because then my whole team will be grinders. But we'll see if I can put a few there. Those are my favorite type. I love the third line, fourth line guys. Those are the guys
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
win you Stanley Cups, man.
Yeah, those are the guys the fans always get behind too. Those are the guys that like maybe they're not known around the league, but wherever they're playing at the moment, those fans all know them.
Oh yeah, they're the hardest working guys. They're the heart and soul of the
Yeah,
for sure. All right, buddy.
yeah,
I guess we'll go with coin toss. I guess it's gonna be blue against red. That's what it's
yeah.
looking like.
Looks like it.
So
Not Canadians versus Leafs this time though.
this is a Canadian quarter. It's worth 25 cents for anyone out there.
Oh, we're
So
not flipping a loony this time. Last time we flipped a loony.
yeah, I'll let you call it.
Okay, tails.
It is heads.
Oh my god, I want to lose another one. Jesus.
It was tails last time.
I know that's why I went with tails this time.
All right. I got my notes here again. So, with the first overall pick, I'm going to go with a guy that's played over 20 seasons in the NHL, if I'm correct. And it's crazy that he's only been a -2 once in his career. He's been a minus player once in his career, and he was -2, and that was in his second last season. If you are a young hockey player and you are, a defenseman, this is the guy you should model your game after.
Oh,
He
a
is
defenseman.
my favorite defenseman of all time. He is the greatest defenseman, in my opinion. I am going to Detroit, and I am going to select Nicholas Lindstrom.
No, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Lindstrom. I mean, you totally stole him from me, but at the same time, what a number one pick overall, Lindstrom. Damn right, greatest defenseman of all time, right there.
I think this man is the epitome of what a defenseman should be. He is unbelievably a great leader, talented on the ice, doesn't make mistakes, makes the right plays. Unbelievable player, Nicholas Lindstrom. For any young kids out there who want to be a defenseman, model your game after this guy, and you will do great things.
The guy was completely polished from like day one, like no mistakes. Like his offensive game, it's not selfish in any way. He puts up points, but it's just by taking what's given, putting the puck on net when he has an opportunity. Like he's complete team player. 7 Norris trophies, 7. Like holy shit, the guy what a champ in 97, 98, then 02, where 02 and he wins Conn Smythe, I believe, in 02. And that's like he becomes the first Euro to win like the Conn Smythe. Then he comes back as the captain in 08 and becomes the first European to be a captain of a Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I was happy that I was able to get the first round pick because I know you're a Detroit fan, obviously, if anyone's
Yeah,
watching the show. So
yeah.
I wanted to scoop Nicholas Lindstrom as fast as possible.
Good thinking, smart idea, because I would have been all over that.
All right, Dan. Give us
All right.
your first overall pick.
Well, surprisingly, I was going Detroit, but I wasn't going Lindstrom.
I know who you're going with now.
I'm going with who else could I pick number one other than Mr. Hockey himself,
Oh,
Gordie Howe. I'm I'm throwing Gordie Howe in at right wing without a doubt.
put him there.
I mean, what can you say about Gordie Howe? His nickname is literally Mr. Hockey. He was Wayne Gretzky's hero growing
Yeah.
up. Uh, Everyone always talks about how great of a guy he is. A gentleman off the ice, but an absolute savage on the ice, a killer on the ice. The guy nearly died. I don't remember what year it was, but being ran headfirst into the boards. Dude missed the entire season, almost died. Came back like nothing ever happened to win
Yeah.
the next year. I mean, 33 years as a professional hockey player. 33 years of professional hockey.
Let me ask you something. For a lot of fans out there, we always try to compare, basketball, players of that era, the Gordie Howe era to the players now, and a lot of, the analysts and said those guys wouldn't be able to compete. It's a little different, I find, in hockey. I think the talent um, would carry over into this league, especially if they have the new equipment and stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine how terrifying physically a guy like Gordie Howe would be with modern fitness. Like I've seen pictures of the guy like I mean, there's some ones that went viral. There was a couple old time hockey players. He was one of them. I think there's a picture of him fishing where he's shirtless, and the guy looks like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And this is before there was any fucking good lives in every
No.
city. You know what I mean? Like this dude was probably working on the farm in the off season to keep that
Oh yeah.
size. The guy was just a hoss. You couldn't push a guy like that off the puck. And I mean, you talk about maybe old school guys couldn't play it in today's game, and you're saying, you think in hockey it crosses over more. I agree with you, but man, I see the hockey from when Gordie plays, and I think about hockey players now. And I'm like, these guys couldn't play when Gordie played, man. He'd eat them alive, man.
Too tough
The
back
first
then.
time they tried to strip him, and he gave them a fucking elbow right to the jaw. That'd be it.
No equipment there too. That's just a straight elbow, man.
Yeah, man, unbelievable. I'm loving this. So for the first two picks and two Red Wings.
Two Red Wings.
About.
I could pick another Red Wing here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just need to pick Stevie Y next, and then we'll just keep going. We'll pick Red Wings the whole way through.
We'll just do straight Detroit.
Yeah, okay. I love it.
With the second round, my second overall pick, I'm gonna pick a guy that scored the golden goal for us. I'm gonna go with Sidney Crosby.
Oh man, hard to argue with that one.
I don't think you can go wrong with Crosby.
No, fuck Crosby. I mean, he's pretty much won everything there is to win as a hockey player. I mean, he came in, he was already anointed before he came in as kind of like the next Gretzky, and he's really done as good a job as he possibly could to live up to that title. I mean, there was a few years there where he was really troubled by the concussions, and it seemed like he was able to overcome that. Still have a very long, very productive career, full of all kinds of athletes.
He's really put the game in, the time in his game. Great centerman, great leader on the ice, great vision. He comes up clutch in those moments when you need your captain to step up. As my number one center, I'm happy with Crosby there.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that pick.
All right, buddy.
Well, I'm moving to my next pick. I'm going to pick another guy.
Hey, give me 1 second here. Give me a second. Entertain the fans. My marker's dying, so I want to get a new one so you can see my thing.
Mine is too.
Entertain the fans.
I don't know how to entertain. Maybe tell you how maybe don't buy Sharpies. No, but really, this draft idea, we came up with this for the wrestling one. We'll definitely be interested in doing this for other sports. top 5, maybe a starting 5 NBA and bench. That'd be good too sometime.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, so I went with the from the shitty small Sharpie to the big gigantic one. So hopefully this will work.
Gigantic one. Okay, I've got 2 on the go, so I feel like I can manage between the 2. So my next pick, oh man. See, I was going to pick some of my more top line forwards, but I'm pretty confident you're not taking any of them. So I got to jump to the guy who was going to be my second line defenseman because I was hoping to get Lindstrom. But now I'm going to have to move him up. And it's a guy who played many big games against the Red Wings over the years. A guy who, in my opinion, in his time with his team, he got totally wrongfully overshadowed by another defenseman he played with. Went on to have success afterwards, winning several Stanley Cups, and my pick is Scott Niedermayer.
Oh, good pick.
That's way earlier than I would have planned on taking Scott Niedermayer, but I'm like looking at the guys I have on here, and I'm like, I feel like I know that Chris knows that I love Niedermayer, and if he wants to pick him, try to steal him. Yeah, I love the guy. I mean, when he won with Anaheim too after Jersey, it bothered the fuck out of me that people gave Scott Stevens so much credit in Jersey. Is like, to me, it's like Stevens had all the big hits and Niedermayer was doing all the actual
defense.
And he was the better offensive player as well. Like, what a skater too.
He was great. Great in Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim too. Like, and for a while too. Like, I feel like he kept them as contenders for a while. I mean, there was other players who they had Pronger as well, but yeah. Well, I mean, would they have won that cup without Niedermayer? It's hard to say, right? Like,
that's it. That's a good pick. I like that pick.
To write his name with my dying marker.
Yours is dying too, eh?
Yeah, like it was fine for writing the boards, but as soon as we go to do it.
All right, what are we at? Pick number 3 now, eh?
Pick.
Yeah, number 3. Okay, pick number 3. I'm going to stick with my first line here to try to get this finished off. I'm going to go with the second greatest scorer of all time to play along, Sidney Crosby. He's a fast skater, physical. He'll find his spot. He'll stay there. Crosby will find him, feed him for that one-timer all day. I'm going to go with Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh, you got this Crosby and Ovechkin on the same line. That is a scary thought. Like, I could imagine you got Ovechkin flying up the ice, Crosby feeding him the puck.
He's just going to be right at that center, right where he likes to be. Crosby's going to feed him all day. I like that. I like that pairing. Gordie Howe's not going to know what hit him, man.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Now you're talking crazy talk. But in all seriousness, Ovechkin, what a combination of, like, speed and then size where it's hard to get him off the puck. Like God, for years, just like you just seem ripped down the side of the ice. Like, Jesus Christ, how's any defense going to stop him? Like,
yeah. And especially like a lot of Russian players, when they tend to lose their speed, they don't have any game, you know what I mean? Their game kind of slows down, but he hasn't lost it yet. I feel he probably would have or been a lot closer to break Gretzky's record if he didn't have to go through 2 lockouts.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's close. But Gretzky, I think, did play over 100 more games so far. So he still has time to catch there. We'll see if he does it. You know, we've seen LeBron break Kareem's record this year. So hopefully, you know, in the next year, couple years, if OE can still keep it up, he can beat a record that we also thought wouldn't be broken, right?
Yeah, no one thought that record could ever be broken.
No. The next episode, when you're talking about episodes, not this one, because we were going to do our 11 to 20 favorite albums, but we should do, like you were talking about before one time, Michael Jordan versus LeBron.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one. That is like, people will literally go to war over that topic.
I know, that's always going to war. And I've seen a lot of wars, too. We're getting away from hockey, so I'll just say this, and we'll get back to hockey, about Kyrie and Allen Iverson. I've seen a lot of People
Oh
don't
my
aware of that.
God, Kyrie. Oh yeah, I'd like to see Kyrie try to drag the 0-1 Sixers to the finals. He'd be fucking. He wouldn't even be in the playoffs.
No. AI deserved to win, man. He deserved to win, man.
Yeah, that's terrible. It's terrible that he had like Jermaine Jones to pass the ball to, or who the fuck he had then? Todd McCullum,
Hey, he had Eric Snow.
Eric Snow. Yeah, well, Eric Snow's passed the ball to him, but
He had a old Mutombo, but Mutombo ended up playing like 10 more years or 12 more years in the league. So who
yeah.
knows?
Oh God,
All
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
buddy.
Poor
Give me your next pick from Detroit.
No, I actually am going to go to Detroit because I know you're not going to take my first line center, so I'm going to my second line center already. My second line center, just to lock him up, is going to be, my opinion, best stick handler I ever saw, the most creative stick handler I ever saw in my time watching hockey, and that's Pavel Datsyuk.
I knew it.
Yeah.
And a very good back checker.
Oh my God, incredible! I mean, how many Selkies did he win? 2 at least, or no? I got it. Let's see. Got it written down here somewhere. 2-time Cup winner, 3-time Selkie winner. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I mean,
What
I think two consecutive 97-point seasons too.
what an animal he was. Him and Zetterberg. Wow.
Think about that 0-2 team too. Like he was on that 0-2 team. He wasn't like on the top lines or anything, but
No.
back that team was like all those legends like Brett Hall and stuff was on that team. Shanahan was there for that. Like fucking they had Datsuk at like the bottom of the line. Like holy shit, what a team!
Good picks. I like our picks so far.
Lots of Red Wings.
Yeah, a lot of Red Wing players. Well, if you're talking about that early 2000s, that's kind of our favorite era of hockey. A lot of it's more Detroit and Colorado, and what a series! What a battle those guys had.
Yeah, man, what a rivalry! I mean, you talk about those fucking fights. I mean, people still talk about those brawls to this day. Like, oh my God, I just wish Probert was still around for that. I mean, it was Darren McCarty and stuff like that during those. But can you imagine if they had Probert too for those series? Oh,
game over.
Yeah.
What are we at here? 1, 2, 3. We're at 4th already. We're going way faster than the wrestling draft.
That's probably a good thing. The wrestling draft in like 7 hours, like a cricket game.
So I'm gonna go with the 4th overall pick here. Well, the 4th round pick. I'm gonna finish my top line here with one of the best right wingers to ever play the game. I think he's gonna complement these two perfectly.
I know exactly who you're going with.
I'm going with the mullet. I'm going with Jaromir
Jagr, most legendary Jagr story. You remember? Like I think he was with the I can't remember who he's with. Maybe it was the Rangers. I don't remember. But in the off season, some chick slept with him and then tried to blackmail him. Sent like a picture of her in bed with him while he's sleeping to try to blackmail him. And but he's like, and Jagr sends back like, "Yo, I don't give a shit. I'm not married. You're the one with the boyfriend. Like, spread that picture around as much as you want, dummy." Yeah, I think really convinced me he can still play.
Yeah, he's still playing too. I think overseas.
Yeah, I think he's the owner of that team too. I'm pretty sure.
God, these Sharpies suck balls. We're gonna
what the hell, man? It's brutal.
Sharpie. We're gonna go to Crazy Arts next time. All right.
Yeah. I'm just getting crayons.
Holy fuck! All right, buddy. What's your pick here?
Right. My next pick. Okay. My next pick is.
I'm surprised you haven't picked Stevie Y yet.
No, I don't think Stevie Y is going to make the cut. To be honest.
I'm surprised you haven't picked someone who is Canadian and his initials are PK. I'm surprised you haven't picked him yet.
Subban? You think I was going to get Subban? You're thinking I'm like Jimmy. My brother would have Subban and Wall already. It'd be like Subban, Wall, and 6.
I wasn't talking about Subban.
Oh, his initials, like his first name, his last name is PK.
Yeah. I know you're gonna
Oh,
pick him.
yeah, you guessed it. That's my next pick. My next pick was my favorite player of all time when I was a kid. And I think most kids our age were drawn to this team, that was Paul Correa. I mean, you couldn't beat
Absolutely.
Mighty Ducks Anaheim, Paul Correa. And I think all kids our age loved the Mighty Ducks. They had the cartoon.
Yeah.
They were like the team that appealed to kids, right? And then Paul Correa was such a stellar highlight reel player. I mean, really ahead of his time. His career was just totally derailed by concussions because how he wasn't really protected. This is like the beginning of like the instigator rule or whatever.
Yeah.
So the game was still ridiculously physical, but you couldn't protect your stars anymore. So it was just open season on guys like Korea. Like it was just concussion after concussion after concussion, and it really derailed his career. I mean, that was the guy's most important tool was his creativity and his mind, and that's what like failed him ultimately. Really, I look at it like hockey failed him in a way. Because yeah, if he would have came into the league 10 years later, like you'd be
Oh yeah.
looking at a much better career. I mean, he did have 2 years, I think, with 100+ points, but I mean, he would have had a much longer, much more productive career
One
in today's. Uh,
one of the greatest hockey moments you'll see is when Scott Stevens kills him, but he comes back and scores that goal. Unbelievable.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If
It's a
I
it's a shame that Anaheim won the cup after he left, but
yes,
he's another
absolutely.
he's another guy that deserved a Stanley Cup. Put his heart and soul every time he stepped on the ice.
Yeah, and you'd see how heartbroken the guy really was in retirement by the way his career played out with the injuries and stuff like that. Like, he really stayed away from the game, stayed away from the Ducks organization for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a sore subject for him. But yeah, absolutely my favorite player growing up. I mean, anytime I played NHL, I had to have Korea on my team. You know, the speed, the playmaking, the shot. He was just an incredible player and a real small package.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, speaking of a great player, I'm gonna go with a left wing also. I'm gonna go with one of the greatest left wings to play the game. I'm gonna go with Luke Robitaille.
Oh, Luke Robitaille. Yeah, absolutely. Luke Robitaille has recently become the scorn of my card collecting. Because I've been trying to collect the Legends cards from Tim Hortons recently. And literally every pack I get a Luke Robitaille. I'm like, fuck off, Luke Robitaille. But yeah, Luke Robitaille, what an incredible player. I mean, how many years did he play in LA? Almost like 2 decades, probably. Like,
We played when they had that gorgeous jerseys.
he played it when they had many jerseys, didn't they? He played in the
Yeah.
black and silver. He played in the black and purple.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Yo,
Oh,
these markers suck ass, man.
they do. These markers are no Luke Robitaille. They're not nearly as consistent and as reliable and durable as Luke Robitaille.
I don't know. Fucking
I don't think
markers.
you're gonna fit
I
Robitaille.
gotta
I
write
don't think
so
you're gonna
hard
fit
and blue.
Robitaille in there, bro.
I know.
Yeah, I don't got much else to say about Luke Robitaille other than fuck off and stop getting my card packs, bro.
A great player though. Great player. But
He's bleeding over.
these goddamn shitty markers.
Yeah, it looks like Luke Robitaille's he's bleeding over. He's gonna play a little center too. It looks like.
Yeah. Well, man, the guy that made the board, you know what I mean, didn't make him very good, you know.
Hey, come on. My Sharpie was working then too, so I have no
I'm gonna bring it
excuse.
a little closer then, and then I'll start writing small, but I have to write so big and hard because my Sharpie isn't working. Okay.
Give me more Sharpie.
Say your next pick. Let me go see if we can find another one.
Okay. My next pick, I am going to go with, you know what? Screw it. He picked Luke Robitaille. I'm going to go with an old teammate of Luke Robitaille's, a guy that is a bit of a blast from the past, forgotten name in hockey. kind of a what if career derailed by injuries, and that is late '90s and early 2000s standout Ziggy Palffy.
Oh, Zygmunt Palffy.
Remember Ziggy Palffy?
I had him on my list.
Oh, you did, eh? Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
guy. I mean, late
He was,
'90s for the Islanders, he
yeah.
was an automatic 40 points. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what a talent he was! He was like almost like a better Marian Hossa, and then um, and then it's just injuries just derailed, and he still had very productive years in Los Angeles up until like even the mid 2000s. But a guy that I would say would 100% be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for injuries.
Absolutely. A great piece with a great center. You have a great center and he's on the line, automatic points.
I'm actually, and it's weird here, but like it's weird the way I'm picking, but I actually have him on my third line.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I I'm gonna stick with my second line here. I like what I got here. Robotile versatility. I want someone that's just gonna put the puck in the net, someone that's
Yeah.
gonna excite you, someone also who had a lot of injuries that slowed him down a little bit. When he came in the
Oh,
league, he was flying, he was scoring. I'm gonna go with Pavel Bure.
oh, Bure. I wasn't sure. I was like, "Ooh, is he going Bure? Is he going?" When he said the injuries and this and flying all, I'm like, "Is he going Bure? Is he going Forsberg? I don't know." But Bure, what a pick! Yeah, I'm Bure for Canucks. Bure. Oh my God, unbelievable. I mean, they don't go to that cup without him. I mean, I remember those Rock'em Sock'em videos and that him scoring that game winner and just flying down the ice, throwing his gloves off, sliding down the ice and stuff. Yeah, it is. What an exciting player too. I mean, and then with even the Florida years, still very productive. That he's playing with his brother with the girl named Valerie.
It just sucks. A lot of those players, all like Zigman, him, a lot of other great players. I don't want to say any names right now. That injuries when they happen, they just their stats just go down. You look at some of these guys; they're starting their careers, their first 5, 6 seasons, 50 goals, 56 goals, 60, 48, and then all of a sudden 15 games played. Next season, 20 games played, 30 games played, didn't play. And it's just a shame with those guys like that are so talented and have it all. And then it's just these injuries just, add up when you're such a small, fast player like that. Those hard hitting defensemen of that era. When especially like you said, without the newer rules, they were just pounding these guys. And
Yeah,
obviously the doctors, I don't know if I'm not going to say they weren't as good. I'm going to say they weren't as educated.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
if you had a concussion, it's more of oh, you just got a little headache or whatever. Take some Advil, take some rest, and
Lysol.
yeah, you'll be good to go, right? So a lot of, I'd say bad coaching staff or training staff cause a lot of these guys to really miss out on, great, great, great careers, even though they had good careers. We're talking about great, great, all time great careers.
Yeah,
But
you talk about something like you bring up that point with the doctors and the advancements in like especially head injuries. Like we're talking about Korea play. I mean, in a way, like it's like this great moment, like kind of like defined his career, but in a way, like he shouldn't even fucking been on allowed back on the ice.
yeah, well, that's it.
Like no doctor should ever clear him to go back on after he's unconscious for like several minutes on the ice. Like
Right. Oh, good old doctors back then. But hey, that's how we grew up. We grew up playing the same way. When I was playing ball hockey, um, I had a third-degree sprain. Then I had a game right after, and they're like, Chris, are you playing? My ankle's the size of a baseball bat. Yeah, fuck yeah. I put some tape and ankle brace. I was out there going at it, man. It's just, that's just the old school style. You don't want to miss a game. You don't want to miss a chance to be the guy to score the overtime winner. You don't want to miss
yeah,
one of those special moments, right? So I understand it, but it's not smart.
yeah, yeah.
It's not smart. All right, buddy. Give me the
All
pick.
right, all
Yeah.
right. My next one. Let's see. I gotta. I see. It's tough. I'm not really picking them based on necessarily how good they are. I'm just picking them to mostly to avoid you stealing them from me. Okay, I got this. I know my next one. I gotta get this guy because I don't think he'll necessarily be on yours, but he could be. And that is one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. 76 goals in his rookie campaign.
Solani.
You got it, Solani. Timu. He's going right on my second line with Datsuk.
He was gonna be on my line.
He
was.
Oh yes, I'm glad I swooped in. And I mean,
he was going there.
I had to get Timu because I already got Korea, so my power play. I'm pairing those two up. Those two guys. You talk about Korea and Timu. Those guys' careers both hit like another level when they met up with each other. They just had like that unspoken like connection on the ice. Like they just knew what each other were thinking, could read each other's minds, kind of thing. And yeah, what a great pairing. And as a kid, I just friggin' loved that duo together. It was my favorite, my favorite duo in hockey as a kid. Absolutely.
You can still see him shooting when he threw his gloves in the air. And
yes, I remember that. That was on one of my Rock and Sock videos too. Oh, those old Winnipeg Jets jerseys. I wish they'd just wear those.
Fuck. All right, what we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7th pick. There's insanely so many great centers.
There's literally the greatest. There's like arguably the greatest hockey player of all time hasn't been picked yet.
But I'm gonna go with someone else that plays for the Edmonton Oilers right now. Unbelievable talent. I've seen him live. The speed, the skill, the puck movement, the ability, the back check, the scoring ability, the passing ability, the vision. I think he lacks a little leadership right now that will hopefully eventually, get into his game to lead Edmonton further into, a playoff run. But I like him between these two. We're talking about speed, skill. I'm going to go with McDavid.
Oh, McDavid. AKA McJesus. AKA Dreisaitl's Robin. But that's great. I mean, Crosby, you got Crosby and McDavid. McDavid is basically like the new Crosby. He's like the new generation speedy Crosby. Another guy like basically anointed when he came in the league. I mean, probably the biggest prospect since Crosby, right? Maybe McKinnon in the middle between the two, but no, probably he was probably bigger, way more hyped than McKinnon, actually, now I think about it. Yeah, McDavid, I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed he was going to be one of the best players in hockey when he came right when he came in, and he's definitely lived up to it. Like you said, he hasn't quite got over the hump yet, but he's got a lot of years left ahead of him.
Guaranteed 100-point guy. Now you're going to put him with Luc Robitaille and Bure. They're going to be flying.
That's true. That's a nice little combo. I like those guys all playing together, actually. Yeah, that team's going to be flying down the ice.
All right, buddy. When's Gretzky going to get in here?
He's coming in here. No, I'm going now.
You're not even going to pick him as your coach?
Fuck me. No. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, him as a coach or MJ as an owner. It's fucking bad. What they're doing.
Oh God, poor MJ. Well, not poor MJ. Fuck MJ. He is a terrible owner. He's just terrible at that.
It's terrible at drafting, terrible at trading assets, terrible at everything, man.
Yeah. And you see how recently people now are like, oh, he's kept the wrong Martin brother because they have Cody Martin while Caleb Martin's tearing it up for the Heat.
He didn't tear it up. He didn't tear it up last night. I think the Heat are playing right now, actually.
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, I mean that's a tough team to beat. Denver. Denver is a really good team. They've been the best team all through the playoffs. They play
as a unit, man.
Yeah. I was talking about that the connection between Timu and Korea, that like being able to read each other's minds. Talk about fucking Jokic and Murray. The same way. Yeah, the way they pass the ball and use those screens. Woo.
Canadian boy.
Yeah.
Balling. But let's get back to hockey, man. We're
Yeah,
talking about
back to
hockey.
hockey.
We'll
Hockey.
have to do an NBA. We'll have to do an NBA draft because
Yeah,
obviously we're
definitely.
talking about hockey.
Definitely. Well, my next pick, I'm picking maybe the greatest defensive forward of all time. The guy's probably the reason the Selke Award exists. He won it the first 4 years it existed. 5-time Stanley Cup champion, and that is Bob Gainey.
Oh, you're going old school, eh?
Yeah, he's
I like
part of
that.
that legendary '70s Montreal team. I mean,
Mhm.
he's the exact opposite of like Guy Lafleur, basically. Guy Lafleur was there, speed down the ice, score the goals. Gainey could score, get me wrong, but Gainey was all about his defense, his physicality. The guy was a savage out there. He was the lockdown of lockdown forwards defensively.
Absolutely. I like
Um,
it.
yeah, late in his career, he became a captain, won in '86 with them as the captain. Just an
Was they
incredible career, Hall
was
of
he
Fame
their
player.
did he turn into their GM in the later 2000s?
Yeah, and is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, and was he like? I don't know this stuff very well, but he might have been like Players Association head
Mm,
too, or some shit like that. I don't know though. I'm not super educated in that kind of stuff. But yeah,
good pick.
outstanding player, and actually the coach of the Soviet team, like obsessed with Gainey because of his style of play. The USSR coach considered Bob Gainey the best hockey player in the world at the time in the '70s. Yeah.
That's
That's my
cool.
guy who's going to be shutting down Ovi.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. All right. I'm gonna go with a defenseman here. Um, I absolutely love this guy. I love just stay at home defenseman. I already have Lindstrom here, so I want to pair him up with somebody to kind of make a super line. I don't know. A lot of people, say bad things about this guy, good things. I absolutely love his game. Again, he's a guy that's only had a negative career maybe once or twice. He played amazing in St. Louis when he was younger, played great in Anaheim, played great in Edmonton. I'm going to put him with Lindstrom. I'm going to go with Chris Pronger.
Absolutely. Chris Pronger. I mean, just a staple of Canadian hockey. I mean, we watched that guy pretty much the time we were born till like what up to like 20 mid 2010s or whatever. Even a pretty important player on some of those Philadelphia teams late in his career. What an incredible, just like
Actually, the
this.
Leafs, someone on the Leafs that ended his career with a high stick.
Yes, almost took his eye out. Yeah. And he actually too had he suffered that freak heart uh, condition thing on the ice. The same thing that happened to that Buffalo Bills player that almost died this past
Oh,
year.
yeah. Yeah.
Same thing happened to
Harmon or
Pronger
whatever?
too when he's hit by a
Yeah.
puck in the chest.
Hamlin. Was it Hamlin? Yeah. Was
Yeah,
that it? Yeah.
yeah, what a career he's had though.
Yeah, great career. Almost took Edmonton to they were in the finals, almost
Yeah,
won
they
it.
went to the finals.
Yeah, that year though it sucked for the Leafs because we were so close, and should've- that you know how it is, man. Carolina
Yeah,
played great though. Oh no, that's
Carol.
'06. When did Edmonton go? '08? No, or was it '06 they won? Was it Edmonton
Yeah,
versus
that
Carolina?
sounds. It should be '06, I think, because it's
Yeah,
yeah, it should be
yeah,
'06 or '07, right? '06, I think.
yeah. One of those years, but the one year that the Leafs were facing Carolina and we lost, man. Oh fuck, man, that sucked. But anyways,
Well,
buddy, let me get
well,
your next pick. Let me get your next pick.
I wasn't necessarily going to pick this guy's. I was going to pick my first line center, but because
Oh,
you
you
just
still
brought
haven't
up
got your
your
first line center yet? Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
I first line center yet. But because you brought up like the Leafs and like heartbreak, I'm gonna go with the Leaf. I'm gonna pick my. I think he's my only Leaf. Yeah, he's my only Leaf I have on. No, never mind. I might have another one too. My only Leaf on the list. Um, he is my father's favorite hockey player of all time.
Uh-oh.
And that is the heart and soul of the '60s Toronto Maple Leafs, Mr.
Oh,
Dave John.
oh. A
Soft
lot
play
of
pick.
a lot of those a lot of those people are parent. A lot of those parents, especially my dad, loves Dave Keon as well.
Yeah, Dave Keon. I've
They
gone
treated him
back.
like this.
I don't dig modern hockey that much, but so like in recent years, I've watched a lot of '60s and '70s hockey. Davey Keon was such a badass man. Like he's only like 5'9". He's a little guy. I've watched them play like the Broad Street Bullies. Some motherfuckers going into the corners with Dave Schultz, not even giving a shit. Dave Schultz giving him a little push. Keon's giving him the elbow back. He didn't give a
Oh
shit.
yeah,
He timed to anybody. Tough as
tough,
nails.
tough
Great
son of a
two-way
bitch.
forward. Yeah, could
Oh,
score, could put the puck in the net. Yeah, I was there. I was there as I think he was their captain for the '67 Cup. I think.
no, I think it was Frank Mahovovich.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's Mahovlich. Yeah, he
Yeah.
got the captaincy after. Yeah, he got the
Mhm.
captaincy after. But yeah, he was there for 92, 90, or 60, 62, 63, 64, and 67. And yeah, what a great center. What a great center. Another great
Speaking
two-way.
of Maple Leafs,
Ooh,
I'm going to
oh,
select next my favorite hockey player of all time.
I
I'm
thought this
surprised
is your
it
number
has,
one.
yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't come up yet. He's my favorite hockey player of all time. I remember watching this man against Calgary, ready 2 goals in the bag, overtime, slap shot from the blue line, bar down, 3 goals, hat trick, overtime winner, 500s of his career. He's put in some of the biggest goals Toronto's ever scored. He's always been there in the nick of time to save them. My favorite hockey of all player of all time, Mats Sundin.
Yeah, there's another Leaf I can actually get behind. I mean, Ratsundin. Yeah, I mean, that guy took way too much shit when he's in Toronto. He, like you said, he was always there. He always produced, and it was like he was to blame for their woes when it was everybody's fault but his.
He's always been there for them, always played great hockey. 1989's first overall pick to the Quebec Nordiques.
Yeah,
Obviously traded to Toronto for fan favorites at the time. And obviously that's when he started getting shit on. What a
yeah, it's a lot of
very
pressure.
what a very talented forward. Around the back of the net, he knows how to use his size and his body to control that puck. Um, I like him here on my team. I don't care where he fell on my team. I had to have Matt Sundin on it. When you were talking about Leafs, I'm like, oh, please don't take, Sundin from me. But I'm happy you did it. So
That
I'm
would have
happy
been
I got
evil
Matt
of me to
Sundin.
take Sundin from you.
Some of those greatest moments as childhood watching hockey and really getting the love for it was from this man right here. Even though, I knew we had a bad team, but you just had to believe, just like, all the Leafs fans believe, or any other fans out there, that your team's not very good. You always believe they're going to be good. I always believed in this guy. He stuck with the ship when it was sinking, when they wanted to
Yeah,
trade him for assets, and he said, "Don't, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not waiving my no trade." Everyone was mad at him. I
yeah,
respected that.
fans are mad.
Yeah, I respected that. That team was shit, and he said, "I'm going down with the ship, or we're battling for eighth spot." I love Matt Sundin, favorite hockey player of all time.
Yeah, I can't. And I mean, I don't know what the stats look like, but I always consider Sundin the greatest Leaf of all time. I'm sure there's old school guys that have
Stats,
maybe better
stats
numbers.
don't lie. If we're talking like, if you want to go, stats don't lie. He is the number
He
one
is
beast
right.
of all
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, what a player. I mean, if Sundin had what Matthews had, that team's in the Stanley Cup Finals.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And for a guy his size, great face off, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and you said the size too. He
Mhm.
wasn't the guy to put his body around. That's why, like you forget about how big he was too. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
easy to push around.
He was a big, big guy, man.
That big
Love
boy.
Matt Sundin.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, another one of my favorites as well. But yeah, it would have been evil of me to steal him off you. So it would have been as evil of me to steal him off you as it would have been for you to steal Korea off me.
I knew you wanted Korea. I have him actually, I'm not even lying. I have him written down here on my top, what
Well,
my top six would have been, but I'm like, I know Dan probably wants Korea, so I'm not gonna take him.
I think those players are both two guys that like everybody our age likes. Like there's like personality wise, there's nothing to dislike about either of those guys. Like I don't know. Like then I mentioned Forsberg earlier. Like Forsberg's kind of like one of those guys. I feel like everybody our age likes those guys. Like
Yeah, but it's crazy when you look at, like you said before, when I was saying the injuries, you look at Peter Forsberg's career, and it's like, man, that guy only played 82 games, like a handful of times. You know,
yeah,
unbelievable talent when he's on the ice, but just, very, very injury prone.
yeah. It's tough. It's like it's almost like I see that as like he's like what if Ovechkin would have played in that time. Like I feel like because like Forsberg just threw his body around with reckless abandon, and
Yeah.
he paid it dearly. Yeah, and I feel like that's how Ovechkin would have played if he played back in the day. He would have just been throwing his body around like a madman too, like that.
Yeah.
Like
It's just different league, like we said, different rules. Just like in basketball, it gets a lot, it got a lot softer, right? So there's a lot of things you can't do that you could do in that early 80s game, 90s game, and we don't even want to get past the 70s plus because they were doing some fucking brutal shit.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, very different game for a lot of those guys. So it would have been interesting. We talk about, these guys, Bob Gainey moving up to this time, Keon moving up to this time,
Yeah,
Gordie Howe, you got well, a lot of the older greats on your side there, how they would do. But like you said, how would these younger guys, how would McDavid do in that
yeah,
era? How would
back in the day,
Crosby
right?
do era, right? Like, are they going to be able to take that punishment? Are they going to be able to, that crowd is so
It,
hostile,
and they
it's a
and
lot
they
of
shouldn't
different.
pass the straight stick.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go in it. So we can never, it's hard to compare, an orange to an orange, apple, oranges, whatever you want to say, because we'll never know.
Yeah,
We'll,
no.
we'll never know. We'll never
All they
know.
can do is fantasize about it. That's what
Yeah,
video games are for, though, right?
yeah, that's it. You just put
Throw
them
them
on
all on a
simulation,
team playing against each other.
and see who wins.
Damn
That's it.
right. That's the most fair way to do it, really.
All right, buddy. Give me
All
your
right.
next pick. I'm surprised there's some really big names that haven't been said yet. I'm really
Oh yeah.
surprised. I think
Wayne
you're gonna
Gretzky.
say, I definitely think you're gonna say the next two names I'm thinking of.
I'm about to pick one that I'm pretty sure you know I'm going to pick. So it's probably one of the ones that you're thinking, and he's going to be my fourth line right winger, and that
Mm.
is the man who scored. Oh, what year was that again? Actually, the man that scored the game-winning wraparound goal to win Canada the World Hockey Championship in 2003,
Uh-oh.
Mr. Anson Carter.
Oh, I knew you were gonna pick him. Again,
Oh my God, I love
again,
Anson
we're
Carter.
we're talking about a brother right here. If you look at his stats before injuries hit,
Oh yeah.
oh my goodness. If what are we talking about here if he doesn't get injured?
Oh,
Like we're
dude,
talking,
he's probably a perennial all star. He was
yeah.
still very long, productive career, and he
Mhm.
played several different teams, but was productive for a lot of teams, and a lot of Canadian teams too, which is cool.
Great player. Absolutely love him.
I mean, I remember as a kid seeing him play and seeing him with dreadlocks. I remember seeing the dreadlocks under the helmet in Edmonton and just being like, "This guy's the coolest fucking hockey player I've ever seen." And then it's
Yeah.
like,
And
there's
then we
so
started talking the visor was even better, yo.
yeah, and there's so few black players in the league at the time. And then I remember like the Edmonton team, and like it was almost like every line because he was on their first line, and like Mike Greer was on the second, I think, and then like LaRock would play on the fourth line too. So it was like
Oh,
he had black hockey players on almost every line on Edmonton. It was awesome. But yeah, it's one of my favorite players of all time, and yeah, what a huge goal! One of the biggest goals in international Canadian hockey history.
absolutely. A beauty player that guy is, man.
He
Great
does
pick.
some analyst stuff now. He's a pretty well spoken, articulate guy too.
Yeah, good player, man. And you know who
Yeah.
does a good job too on the analyst? Kevin Weeks.
Yeah, Kevin Weeks is fantastic. Yeah. Kevin Weeks, he might pop up later on too.
I'm gonna go with. There's no way in hell you're gonna take my fourth line center, so I'm not even worried about that. There's no way you're gonna take my fourth line center, so I'm not gonna pick him yet. This like if I want to name off some of these centers here, I wrote down that haven't made the cut. That's unbelievable. But anyways, I'm gonna go with my right wing. That's gonna play with Sundin. Um, should I do that? No, because I'm thinking of doing something a little interesting here. But then, okay, you know what? I'll do the interesting line. I'm gonna have to move him down to my fourth line then. I'll move him to my fourth line. I'll move him to my fourth line if I get them. I have a feeling you want him though, but that's okay. I'll make it work. I'm gonna do something interesting here. I'm gonna make. Well, should I do it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Sundin in the middle. I'm gonna take another heart and soul leaf. I think he's a big body. He can fight. He's gonna play good beside Sundin. I don't think anyone ever seen, or thought these two were gonna get paired up. I'm gonna go with Wendell Clark.
Oh, Wendell. There you go. Yeah, I talked about a bruiser, a grinder, a scrapper, and what a great leader too. I mean, anybody older than us that's a Leafs fan absolutely adores the man.
Is Wendell Clark with the E at the end?
No, Wendell Clark's no E. No.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm
yeah,
going
what a
with
tough son of a bitch.
two Leafs captains here.
Yes,
We
yes.
got a really big body, not so physical Matt Sundin, but we got a guy here that's big. He's powerful. He can score. He can hit. He can fight. He's nasty. He's gritty. It's not what I wanted to do, but I thought it'd be kind of fun. So
Bro,
Wendell
you need to get a nice left winger from the blue too, and then you got like this like crazy lease line.
All right, buddy. Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead and select Milan Hajduk to play with Anson Carter?
Actually, I was gonna pick Miroslav Satan, but
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, for my next pick, I'm picking Gretzky. Just kidding.
oh, you're not gonna pick the great one.
My next pick, I'm picking the man the NHL player who makes the best coffee and donuts.
Oh,
Stan Mikita.
oh, wow!
Have you ever seen Wayne's World?
I have seen Wayne's World.
That's like their Tim Hortons and Stan Mikita's donuts in it. Oh my god! I don't know if anybody's watched the podcast. You might see my coffee mug in the past, my Stan Mikita's coffee mug. But yeah, Stan Mikita, what an excellent player, the all-time leading scorer and assist man, I believe, for the Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
Champion. Was a dirty little bastard his first half of his career. Just physical, dirty player. And then there's a funny story I heard him tell actually, where he said that his like 5-year-old niece or something or daughter or something like basically like asked him about like, well, how come when all your friends go back to the bench you have to go sit in that box by yourself? And then he felt uncomfortable having to explain why he got a penalty to this little girl. So that's why he ended up cleaning his game and ended up becoming like a gentleman of the league by the end of it. But an
Crazy.
innovator of the sport too. One of the first guys to have a curved stick, one of the first guys to wear a helmet. And he wasn't even born here. He came over to the country from Slovakia or Slovenia. Which one is it? Slovakia at 8.
Slovakia, yeah.
And he was never even exposed to hockey before that. But yeah, so that's my first line center.
Oh, that's your first line center. Okay.
Line center, the pair of Gordie Howe and Paul Kariya, Stan Mikita.
Interesting.
Definitely, as I gotten older, gone back and watched old hockey. Definitely one of my favorite players to watch.
You really appreciate the talent. Like like we said, like when our even we used to say it when we were younger. Oh, if that guy played in this era, he'd get destroyed. But when you go back and watch and you go, okay, wait a minute, this guy has something. You know what I mean? So those older guys, they can go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and whatever sport you has you, they can play. So very interesting matchup so far. It's a lot of newer versus older kind of. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's
That
interesting.
kind of is how our wrestling draft went too, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly the same. Yeah. Okay, so
It's like Midnight Express. I'm taking Makita.
let me finish off my third line here.
I'm
I
interested in this one.
might as well finish it off. I'm going back to the Leafs. I'm gonna
Oh
make a
yeah.
film here. I'm gonna go back to the Leafs. I need a left winger. I need a guy. Okay, again, we got Big and Clark. Big tough guy, Clark. We got a big skill for forward. I want to put him with another big tough forward, a guy that can play, score, fight, just like Clark. He was a great player when he went to Calgary after Toronto. I'm going with the mustache. I'm going with Lanny McDonald.
Lanny McDonald. Oh my god, can you imagine Lanny and Wendell Clark on the line together? Oh my god, no one's coming. No one's gonna touch Sundin. Like holy shit, Lanny and oh my god, those mustaches too in combination. Lanny would literally look like Wendell's big brother too, standing beside each other.
It's it's
Oh,
a it's a fun lineup.
that is a fun line. I love that. You got yeah, Sundin's kind of the playmaker. You got Lanny, around the net putting the puck in. Clark grinding, Lanny grinding too.
Oh yeah. Those are the type of players I love. These are the type of guys, even though he never won it with the Leafs or whatever, these are the guys that win you the Stanley Cups, the heart and soul, the guys that
Yeah.
go out there and just battle. This is a very interesting line. I wonder what they would actually do in an 82 game season. It'd be very interesting.
Oh man, it'd be a tough line to play against. I mean, the skill and the physicality. I mean, you call it like a blue and white line, but you could call it a black and blue line too.
All right, buddy.
Alrighty.
I'm almost done my centers. I can't believe once we name our centers, I want to name off some of the centers that weren't taken.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's unbelievable. Because what you have
Wait
one
till
center
you.
left as well, right?
I can't wait to pick my fourth center and leave in just because of who it is, and then leave Wayne Gretzky on the board. It's just gonna be incredible.
Can you see my writing or no?
Oh yeah, no, I can read yours. Yeah, you're good. Can you see mine?
Okay. Yeah, I can see yours because I'm writing in red, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I can see it still.
All right,
Okay,
buddy. Give me your next
I'm
pick.
I'm going to my third line left wing, and I'm
Okay.
going with a guy who often gets forgot. Another guy, theme of injuries derailed his career. One catastrophic injury, actually, that's like a drug addiction that derailed his whole career. Two-time Stanley Cup winner with the Mario Lemieux Pittsburgh Penguins, and that is uh, Mario's line mate and power forward Kevin Stevens.
Oh,
Kevin Stevens
interesting.
actually, how many is he? I think four-time All-Star. Guy put up 100 points twice in his career. Just like a unreal 50 goals scorer, like year after year. And then he has one horrible injury where he actually his head collided with the defender's head, and so he was actually unconscious before he ever hit the ice. So he hit the ice face first and basically just shattered
Yeah,
everything in his face.
that's it.
And then the recovery from that led to like a drug addiction that really derailed his career. Ended up getting run out of Pittsburgh and stuff. But super important part of those Mario Lemieux Penguins teams. I mean, a lot of points Mario put up on assists are because of Stevens cleaning it up in front of the net. He was the big body there to protect Lemieux and to put the puck in the net and stand right in front of the goalie, basically.
Interesting pick. I'm surprised Lemieux hasn't been
Yeah,
uh, selected yet.
Wayne Gretzky, Wayne Gretzky.
All right. I'm gonna finish off here my centers. There's no way you were gonna take this guy. Once I say his name that I absolutely love this guy. Um, selected
already.
selected first overall by the Ottawa Senators, then moved on to the Islanders. I absolutely love this guy.
Yeah,
So much skill, a very forgotten player. Go back, look at his stats, put up unbelievable numbers. I want on my team Alexei Yashin.
Alexei Yashin. I knew he was coming up on your team at some point. Yeah, that guy was a beast. And I'm surprised. It's always surprised me. You can tell how much you respect a player when you're a Leafs fan and he was a Senator. That's probably the majority of the times you saw him play is when he was a Senator, probably playing against the Leafs. And even those Islanders teams had a bit of a rivalry at the Leafs too, eh? Like,
Oh yeah. Great player, great hands, great vision, great shot. You know, excellent player. You can kind of mirror him with Alexei Kovalev if Kovalev ever tried to play.
he tried, but he wasn't Lopalev.
Unbelievable to be that talented and not want to play. You know.
Yeah, one of the best. He's a Czech player, right? He's one of the better Czech players of our childhood.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, make your next pick, buddy, or
All right.
entertain the fans. I gotta be back in a second. My little one is crying.
Okay, no worries. I'll do my next pick.
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. My next pick, I should probably go to the defense. I want kind of a big body to stick with Niedermeyer. I'm still gonna pick a very skilled player, and that is for Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup champion Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson, big, tall, lanky defender, very skilled, very strong skater as well as Niedermeyer. So I got real great mobile defenders on the defense, but a big body with a very long reach. Very hard to move off the puck as well. He could really create a lot of trouble for defenses on the offensive end. And when he got physical, he got freaking physical. Like there's a game against the Flyers where he's literally like puts a dude through the boards. They had to come up and fix the boards after the hit.
Who'd you select?
Larry Robinson on defense from the
Oh,
Canadians.
oh,
Yeah, so I didn't take any of the offensive skill from those 70s Canadians. Didn't want no Guy Lafleur, nothing. I just want all the grit. So that's why I got Larry and Bob. I also didn't take any of the Frenchies.
I like that pick. Good pick to put with Niedermeyer.
Yeah, I thought both strong skaters, but he's also brings a little bit more physicality than Niedermeyer brings. So
Speaking of defensemen, I'm not gonna go there yet. I'm gonna finish off. I'm gonna finish off with Yashin. I'm gonna take a right wing here, someone that I truly respect in the game. I think, you know, we talk about being Canadians. This guy is well respected. I think even in the States, um, great teammate to have. Very skilled. Again, he'll fight. He'll play in those dirty areas. I'm gonna go with Jerome Iginla.
oh, Iggy, yes. I was definitely looking at Iggy where I picked Timu. I was definitely strongly considering Iggy. Iggy was just super consistent and just carried those Calgary teams. Like there was some talent on those Calgary teams, but they're nowhere near the playoffs, nowhere near any place near contending without Iggy all those years. Yeah, an incredibly well-rounded uh, Hall of Fame talent.
We're talking about another guy here um, that deserved to win a cup.
Yeah,
Uh, Iginla's one of those heart and soul guys. And like you're talking about Calgary, he had Craig Conroy on his line. That was and they don't make it to the finals if Mika Kiprusoff doesn't play
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
So it's a guy right there, and Iginla, who deserves to win a Stanley Cup. He did play for a lot of good teams afterwards. Actually,
Pittsburgh stuff. And
did he win
I
it with
remember,
any of the teams? I don't think he won it with
no,
Boston or Pittsburgh.
no, he didn't. He was always there the wrong year. He was always somewhere the
Yeah.
wrong year.
It was just like
Um,
that year Marion Hossa kept on switching teams, and then he finally picked the right team.
he like switch off a team, they'd win. Switch, yeah.
But
Hosa.
I love Jerome McGinley. We're talking about a guy. I remember when the goal was scored, the golden goal by Crosby, and everyone was like, "It was all Iginla. It was all Iginla," and it actually was.
Dots before too. Before that, he was so close to scoring. Like,
I think
oh,
every Canadian wanted Iginla to score that goal, man. But
yeah,
it was my top pick right there, my top center that scored it. It would have been amazing if it was Iginla.
yeah. You gotta love.
Gotta love Jerome.
All right.
I wanted a lot more grit, but I ended up going with a lot more skill. But I have some grit coming in, so I'm happy with that. So I'm more of a stay at home defenseman guy. So a lot of my defensemen are
Yeah,
probably going to be a lot of gritty kind of defensemen.
yeah, absolutely. That's where you got the grit. I'm about to bring you some grit right here. I'm about to round out my left wingers with the heavyweight of heavyweight champions of the NHL. You know who I'm picking. Mr. Bobby Probert, Windsor's own.
Oh, oh,
I will argue with people that Probert's 1988 season is one of the greatest feats a hockey player has ever accomplished. The guy put up 62 points
put up good
while
numbers.
while being the heavyweight champion of the NHL. Like you go back and you listen to like those enforcers just talk about how like taxing the mental stress of being an enforcer is, and to be that productive and fight that often and that many guys in what is probably the golden age of enforcers, it is
Yeah.
disturbing. And Probert, before he got clean in Chicago, was the most terrifying hockey player of all time. I've heard a
Absolutely.
story I've heard a story told by Ric Flair actually that when Probert was suspended at one point for one of his many fucking instances of either crashing a car or failing a drug test or whatever with the Red Wings, that he was actually hanging around a WCW ring, and Tank Abbott got in the ring. Tank Abbott, a former UFC, is he a heavyweight champ or he was,
No, I don't
right?
think he was a champ. I think he was just like
Fought for the title a couple
a
times,
brawler.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, early on. But yeah, Tank Abbott gets the ring and basically says to Bob Probert, like, get the fuck out of my ring kind of thing. And apparently Probert squares him up and is like, why don't you fucking make me? And apparently fucking Tank Abbott just tail between his legs, just walks out of the fucking ring. Just
Oh yeah.
totally alpha Abbott. Like, Probert was a terrifying dude.
Oh yeah. He's big too, man.
Yeah, like I said, Probert, while he was on the coke in Detroit, the other fighters always talk about how he's just like he looked through you. It was just
Oh,
dead eye, like it was like fighting a robot.
I like that pick, man. All right, we're getting there, eh?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go with a defenseman. Um, Again, when I first started getting into hockey, I absolutely loved this defenseman in this era when he played on this team. Later on in his careers, he wasn't as good when he got older, but he was a steady stay-at-home defenseman, and those are the kind of guys I like. I'm actually gonna put him. I don't know where I'm gonna put him here. I'm actually gonna put him here on my third line, and I'm gonna go with I think this might be a shocking pick. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna go with Colorado's Adam Foote.
ooh, Adam Foote. That's actually one of my coworkers' nephews.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Adam Foote. I mean, he went 2 times Stanley Cup champion. I think he won the gold medal too in '02 with Canada.
Yeah,
Um, Part of a lot of big games. Like we talked about that rivalry between the Red Wings, the Avalanche, a lot of big playoff games. Adam Foote just super solid defenseman. I think he rounded out his career with Columbus, I think, the last year or two.
yeah,
Strong defensively, even at that point in his career. Just, yeah, consistency.
big, not the biggest guy, but plays like he's, one of these bigger style, hard hitting defensemen, very sturdy. Always
Yeah,
love those kind of defensemen that don't care about offense. It's more about let me get the puck out, let me block a shot, let me, do whatever my goalie needs me to do, to get the easier shot on him. And that's the kind of guy that you want on your team if you're gonna go far in the Stanley Cup. Someone that's gonna be able to kill penalties, block shots, put a stick in the right spot, especially with the leadership of Nick Lindstrom. It's gonna
yeah.
boost his game up. Uh, I love Adam Foote.
I like that pick. That's a great pick.
Uh, he's better than we're talking about Foot. It's better than the Leafs giving Jeff Finger 2 years, $14 million contract.
Oh God, yeah. Foot greater than finger. But Adam Foot too. He just he looked like his head and his face. He looked like a fucking foot. He looked like a guy that would
Yeah,
be a good defenseman. Just big square jawed, big forehead. Like he looks like
yeah.
a big tough defenseman.
I love
I'm
Adam Foote.
I'm actually going to stick with that theme. I'm going to draft a defenseman, a teammate of his on. I don't think he was there. I don't know if he was there for the first Colorado Cup, but I believe he was there for the second one. And that is another great consistent defenseman, but also very productive offensive defenseman as well. And that is Mr. Rob Blake.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
Yeah, another
Very, very,
important
very
part of that
consistent.
gold medal team from 2002 as well.
Yeah, you can even say he's sort of like a Nicholas Lindstrom.
Yeah, a little bit, almost like Canadian Lindstrom, like a lesser.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on my way to be lesser. But yeah,
Great.
another great player, very consistent over the years at LA, Colorado, and not sure where else he might have played too. That's what mostly all I remember is LA and Colorado. But
I'm gonna go back to defense here. Let me see here. Hmm. I like my big tough defenses, but I'm trying to put them in an order so I kind of have a little bit of offense.
yeah, mixed in.
Yeah, because I don't want too much defense because I need something from the back end. I'm gonna go with a guy that played with Chris Pronger. Um, one
Ooh,
of
I
the
know this.
hardest one of the hardest shots in the league. He's gonna be able to put the puck in the net. I'm gonna put him right here, and I'm gonna go with Al McInnes.
Yeah, Al McInnes. I think I believe he was a cup winner, right, with Calgary. I think he was there. Yeah, he would have been there for the cup. Yeah, one of the hardest slap shots in the history of hockey. I remember watching those Rock'em Sock'em videos when I was young, and I think two different occasions seeing him put it through the net and just being blown away. It's, oh my god, this guy's really putting. I remember the graphic; they put the fire on the puck in the video and stuff.
Yeah.
This was
Actually,
mad.
also a great defenseman.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
and
actually a very sturdy, good defenseman. He's not the fastest skater. He's a bigger kind of body guy, so he likes to stay at home too, but he will rip that shot. Obviously Chara beat his record.
yeah, oh right.
I don't know if Chara is gonna get picked at some point. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm okay with Al McInnes there.
Yeah, that's definitely a great pick. Yeah, fuck, Al McInnes is a monster, dude. Another that's like three picks in a row, I think, too, from the '02 Canada Gold team. That really speaks to what an incredible collection of players that was. Like,
Oh
holy
yeah.
fuck.
I think
What
our team is based off of like 2000s to like 2003 era hockey players. We have a lot of those
yeah,
great guys.
definitely.
Yeah, a lot of Detroit, a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
Detroit been
I
selected.
mean, not even to be a homer, but I mean, it is definitely one of the more like decorated franchises in hockey history. I mean, the '80s were
Yeah,
a little slow and stuff in the '70s, I guess, but the '90s, 2000s, and
yeah, the early
'60s.
2000s. We talk about those teams. You're talking Iserman, Hall, like you said.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on of the fucking star power these guys have.
Helios, Shanahan,
Yeah.
Fedorov.
Oh
Yeah, it
yeah.
never ends, man.
Fucking unbelievable. All right,
Yeah.
buddy. What you got?
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna keep rolling with this 0-2 Canada, and I'm gonna go down to my third line defense, and I'm gonna pick up Mr. Ed Jovanovski.
Oh,
Yeah, he was always one of my favorite players. I think when I was a
I
kid,
loved
he
them
was.
in Phoenix.
Yeah, well, I think when I was a kid, he was in Vancouver too, right?
Yeah.
With like some of those dazzling teams, and then later in his career, he was the captain in Florida. I think that's where I ended up watching him most. And I mean, he played until he's very old in Florida, and still like very much the leader of that team, and very strong defensive defenseman. Still had a pretty solid shot from the blue line too.
Yep. Good, really good defense. He played until he was very old, man. He was still in the league, plotting decent minutes. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
like you said, a guy that's extremely sturdy.
yeah. Always one of my favorites.
Great pick. I guess I'll stick with defenseman here for rounding them out. Um, Let me see here. There's so many great defensemen here. I'm gonna have to go with another puck moving defenseman here. I got a guy that can shoot the puck, so let me put someone with him that can feed him the puck. I have two guys I want to go for, but I'm actually gonna go with a different pick. I'm gonna go with a guy from Detroit. I'm gonna go with Brian Rafalski.
Ooh, nice. For a second, I'm like Cronwall. Nice. There you go. I wasn't expecting to see him that soon either. So you like you're pairing them up because you like the puck motion between the two.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, man. I
I
wanted to
like
pick I wanted to pick a
good
newer style
defense,
guy,
right?
but
I like that.
I don't mind Brian Rafalski. I think he, again, an underrated defenseman. He did play on great Detroit teams, but
So he had support, but
he was one of those really big key pieces to
absolutely.
stopping a lot of big guys. He plotted big minutes when he was needed. Very, sturdy defenseman, can move the puck. I don't mind him feeding Al McCannis all day for a big shot.
I
I
like
wanted
that
to,
pair.
I wanted to put a few picks here, but I don't want to give their names out. Obviously, there's another Detroit defenseman I could have taken there. I didn't, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, I'm actually going to go back to your team. I lied when I said Keon was the only Leaf I was taking because I'm sticking with defense. And now I'm picking the man with the second best coffee and donuts, and that is Mr. Tim Horton himself. Tim Horton, I mean, I gone back and watched some of his. I really enjoy his style of defense too. That guy was a fucking hoss. Like he was a
Oh yeah.
big boy, and he did not want to end up in the boards with Tim Horton. He's another guy too. I was talking about earlier about how a while back some of those pictures of Gordie Howe went viral. Tim Horton was the same deal. People were joking about like, oh my god, look how jacked the donut guy is. Tim
Big
Horton
boy,
was a.
man.
Um,
We like the same kind of defenseman, so
oh yeah. Yeah, so add a little bit of grit and toughness to that line. I mean, not saying that Rob Blake doesn't bring some of that already, but Tim Horton will definitely make up for anything that Rob Blake is lacking in the size.
all right. So I'm just gonna finish my defenseman here. Why not? One left. Um, Again, forgotten defenseman. Absolutely love this guy. A very dirty, gritty player. Um, Very sneakily dirty. He'll do some nasty things to you. He fits right next to Adam Foote perfectly. I don't think you were going to take him, so I didn't have to worry about him. I'm going to take Darian Hatcher.
Ooh, Jerry Hatcher, yeah. When you said the dirty, sneaky, absolutely. I loved it. I do really love his style of defense. I remember how good those Dallas teams were in the late 2000s. Actually, my first memories of watching hockey ever really is watching Dallas versus Buffalo in the Stanley Cup Finals, and yeah, Hatcher, man, he was like the first captain when they went to Dallas, and he was a physical, dirty bugger. I remember him taking out Lindros in the head
Oh, yeah.
like 2 or 3 times, like.
And when he checks you into the board from behind, he goes up with both
Yeah,
elbows and just drives
your
you into the
face,
board.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
kids don't know him out there. Very tough, gritty, dirty defenseman. Darian Hatcher is him and Adam Foote together is a tough
that
line, man.
is nice. No, yeah, that's nice. That's a nice pairing. That's nice. That's true. It's one of those guys like everybody our age remembers him, but other generations he probably gets forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely. Big, great. Not a good defenseman, but a sturdy defenseman in the '90s. And then his game continued to be almost the same with the rule change in the 2000s, but
Yeah,
still had a good longevity career. He's probably the least, you know, known defenseman out of my pairing here, but I'm okay with what I have here. I
yeah.
have Lindstrom here, great defenseman. Pronger, great defenseman. McKenna's got the big shot. Hopefully, Rafalski, also a good defenseman, has great stick awareness. Can also pass Rafalski the puck. And then I got a tough line here. Hopefully, to kill a penalty or two.
Right, right. Okay, well, I might as well round out my defense, I guess, then too.
Oh, you're still waiting for
Um,
a center, eh? So that's Wayne Gretzky.
yeah, that could be Wayne Gretzky, fourth line center with Bob Probert and Anthony Carter. Now I'm picking somebody better than Gretzky for my fourth line center, anyways. Uh, yeah, just paired with Jovanovski. I was torn between a few guys, 2010s, 2000s defensemen, guys that all had like pretty long, fairly consistent careers. I don't mind saying some names because you've already drafted your defenseman. I was almost picked Willie Mitchell, and I almost picked Dennis Seidenberg.
Oh, Dennis
But
Seidenberg.
I always liked Dennis Seidenberg. I don't know.
You
I always
know,
liked
I always loved Eric Johnson and Eric Brewer. I love the
yeah,
guys.
Eric Brewer. I forgot Eric
Yeah,
Brewer.
I love the
Oh,
guys from St. Louis.
but no, I'm gonna go with one that's I don't know how long he's been retired. He's been retired for a while now, but one that probably gets forgotten was a pretty consistent defenseman for a couple teams. And that's Mr. Anton Volchenkov.
Oh,
Yeah.
Volchenko. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I know. I always just loved his style of play. I didn't really watch him too much in Ottawa, but I saw a fair bit of him with the Devils, and
Yeah,
I just love the play style. The guy would fucking throw his body around. He's a big dude, and I always just find big-bodied Russian guys to just be fucking scary. So yeah, Anton Volchenkov to round out my defenseman.
those two. Your third line defensemen are very hard names to say. Joe
Oh, I'm
Panosky.
amazed I fit them all on there.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I like our D pairing. It's different and like it's
Yeah,
tough,
we got
tough
like
and
mixed.
very skilled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wonder who your center is gonna be.
Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to name. Like, he's the guy I've developed an absolute man crush on in the 2010s. Uh,
Oh, 2010s.
yeah.
Okay, we'll see who it is then. All right, let me finish off with my fourth line left wing. There's a lot of great names here. I want to pick this guy, but I also want to pick this guy. Um, I need someone that's gonna be able to jam the net. Heart and soul guy. Again, I'm gonna go back to Detroit. I'm gonna go with Shanahan.
Oh, nice pick. Nice pick. I mean, if you're picking just like who would be the most like stacked dude to put as a fourth line left wing, that's Shanahan. Because Shanahan can bring you like the grit and toughness of a fourth line player, but then with all the skill of a first line player. and intelligence, the intellect and leadership on top of that.
And he's paired up with Yashin and Aginla.
Woo! Woo!
That's great right there.
That is nasty. Oh man, yeah, that's what we kept bringing up those Red Wings teams. Man, those 02 teams. Like, can you imagine? Like
1
Eiserman.
second. Here comes my little boy. He's crying. 1 second.
I'll go on about the Red Wings while you're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even picked Eiserman yet, and it just speaks to what a legend Eiserman is. I mean, he was the captain of those teams. You think of just the absolute like shoe-in Hall of Famers and just legends and freaking grown men that were on that team, like friggin' Shanahan, Hull, like, and Eisenman, he wore that fucking C and he was the leader of that team. Like, it really speaks to how great of a player he is and how great of a leader he was. Like, the fact that you look to somebody else for leadership ahead of Shanahan, that really just speaks to how great of a captain Eisenman was. Like, and really just one of the greatest friggin' hockey teams of all time. I mean, that 02 Red Wings team is probably one of the greatest sports teams of all time. If you're just picking individual years, not like eras or of a dynasty or something, just specific years. I mean, that 02 Red Wings team I'd put up against any team. I know a lot of people talk about all kinds of different teams in sports. People talk about the Warriors team in basketball being the greatest team, or that 96 Bulls. People talk about what is in fucking I'm blanking now. But yeah, anyways, like I said, I put it up against any friggin' team in professional sports, the 2002 Red Wings. Great team. I wish Prober was on those fucking teams, god damn it. But yeah, so we got a few picks. We only have one pick left before we go to our goalies. We haven't picked any goalies yet. I have one forward left, and I'm not picking Gretzky, so it doesn't look like Gretzky's going. Doesn't look like Gretzky or Lemieux are getting picked. That is interesting. That is definitely very interesting. And some people are probably surprised to see a lot of centers before Gretzky and Lemieux, but this is definitely more of like our favorite players. So. And
I'll be back in a few minutes, so you got to keep entertaining. But while you're entertaining, I'll pick one of my goalies.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick my backup goalie.
Okay.
Someone I've always loved. I'm gonna go with Nikolai Happy Bulin.
Oh, the Bulin Wall! Wow, what a backup that is too. That Tampa Bay team don't win no cup without the Bulin Wall either. Happy Bulin, wow, what a player. I mean, those years in Phoenix too, he was very stable. That was the guy I was considering too. God damn. I was considering him as my number one goalie. He's got his backup. Who the hell is his freaking starter if that's his backup? Man. I think his backup's going to be better than who I picked as my starter. I really wish I didn't have a soft spots for just guys that have like cool masks and stuff. But what can you do? Especially when you're a kid. When you're a kid, it's all about the mask. You talk about like Ulf Kolzig and the Godzilla, Curtis Joseph and the Cujo mask. Like, that's how I was judging my goalies back in the day. If how cool your mask was how good you were. I think that's probably why, like, as a kid, I was a little indifferent to Hasek at first because he wore that stupid freaking open face looking thing with the cage, and yeah, it was just so much less cool than all the other goalies. I mean, that's way less cool than a freaking angry dog face on your freaking mask or something, or flames or some shit like that. I mean, even the old school guys had a cooler mask than that. Gary Cheevers and the Stitches, those 70s ones, the long face mask, those might be some of the best ones, like the Jason Voorhees style, or it looks more like almost like Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles, those long thin ones, like very sinister, very sleek and scary looking. I've always looked on eBay to try to find a replica of like a 70s goaltender mask just to wear for like street hockey here and there, but surprisingly pricey. You just end up cheaping out and getting a Jason Voorhees knockoff mask from the dollar store at Halloween time. It does not offer you any protection at all, but aesthetically looks cool. Oh, gotta love it. I don't know what else to. I'm just rambling off while Chris is tending to his kids here. This is Oh,
I'll be
there he
back.
is.
He has a tooth coming out, so he's a little
Even.
upset. So give me a couple more minutes. But
I'm making a pick. I'm making a pick while you're gone.
yeah, go ahead and make a pick. Go ahead and make a pick.
Actually, no. You know what? I got it better. I'll start filling out power play and the penalty kill. Let's see, power play. I talked about it earlier. I gotta get Korea and I gotta get Solani playing together. So my power play, I got Korea. Korea, Timu, then my center. Who do I go with my center, right? Freaking Nikita, Datsuk, Keon. Can't really go wrong there. Any of those guys could be on my power play. Any of them could be on my penalty kill. Can't really go wrong with any of those. But I think I'm going to probably put either, probably put Keon on the PK. So I think my power play, I think I'm going to go with Datsuk. I'm going to get Datsuk's handles in there. I think that's probably the best idea. I like that. You got Korea, Datsuk, and Solani on that power play. And then I can come down to my penalty kill, and I'll get Keon. And I was thinking how, but you know what? I'm going to go Gainey. Gainey, I mean, he's the guy. He's the specialist. I could put him on that. It's a little weird not having How on the power play, I guess. But I want to get all those guys together. I like those guys all playing together. It seems cool. Defense though is the tough one. Like who's my power play? Who's my penalty kill defenseman here? Like I think for power play, I think I'm just gonna go with this first pairing here. To be honest, I think I'm just gonna go Niedermeyer Robinson on my power play. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Let's go Niedermeyer. Oh, I before E. I forgot. So yeah, I'll go Niedermeyer and Robinson on the penalty kill. Or the power play. And then on the penalty kill, I think I'll go Blake and Jovo. Yeah. Blake, Jovanovski. Yeah, I like that. I think that makes sense. I'm also gonna throw. Well, Chris is gone. Throw my cap. Throw the C on. And I mean, got Gordy on the team. How can you not give Gordy the C? Gordy's got to be the captain. Got to give Gordy the C. You know, the assistant captain. This is where it gets a little bit more interesting. I'm looking leadership wise. I mean, who's left? I mean, Gordy's is kind of my leader, but after that, I mean, what Makita, Gidney, Keon maybe is my best bets. Some combination of those guys, maybe Robinson or Niedermeyer, Blake. I don't know. That's tough. The assistant's tough. You know what? I'm gonna put one. I'm gonna go give Makita an A. Give Gainey an A. Gainey running that PK. I'm definitely gonna give him the A. You know, well, we'll make a goalie pick too over here. I had a tough time dealing with trying to pick my goalies. Real tempted to. I actually had Heavy Bulin, like I was saying, like Chris picked. I thought Cujo. I thought Potvin because those are two least guys I loved when I was a kid. Probably because of the masks. Kolchak, another guy like that. Um, I even was considering Tretiak, actually, Vladislav Tretiak, because I remember as a kid watching those USSR, or watching a documentary on the USSR team, the Soviet team, and just being like, whoa, this goalie, man, he's just stopping everything, like being so taken back by Tretiak. So I was really tempted to pick Tretiak, to be honest, as my starting goalie. But I'm going to go with a guy who I discovered as a kid through the first NHL game I ever played at, which was on my brother's Sega Genesis, and that was NHL '97 with the cover to John Van Beesbrook. People might ask, why the hell was John Van Beesbrook on the cover? Why was it a Florida Panther? That year, I think on the back of a hot John Van Beesbrook, the team actually, I believe, went to the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, he's a goalie in the league for quite a few years with Florida and with New York. I took Van Beesbrook.
Oh, I knew you were gonna pick up.
I
My apologies. My son is not feeling well with his tooth.
Oh no, that's okay. I mean, is he gonna be okay?
Oh yeah, Mary's with them for now. I'll be up there in a little bit once we finish up.
Oh, we'll have to wrap this draft up soon. We're gonna have to power through.
Hey, what do we got next?
I also did my power play and PK while you were gone too quickly.
Oh, that's okay. Entertain them. Entertain them.
Yeah.
Who was your last center again? Was I here when you did that?
I haven't picked him yet.
Oh, you haven't picked him yet. Okay, so it's my pick?
It's your pick, yeah.
All right, I'm going to round out my goalie here. I already have, I didn't even write Happy Booing yet, so I'll write him down here. But I'm going to round out my goalie. There was a lot of goalies I wanted to take. I love this guy. You know what I mean? He flops everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I love it, man. Stanley Cup winner. He's played good everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
His helmet definitely needs to change.
I was talking about that while you were gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dominic Hasek as my starting goalie and my backup Nikolai Happy Bulin. I actually wanted to pick.
What a combo!
I actually wanted to pick Ray Emery as my backup, but I couldn't pick him over. Happy Bulin.
I thought you were gonna go with Wolf Kolzig. I like when you were saying that before. I didn't think that was a joke. I was like, Wolf Kolzig was actually sick.
I was actually gonna my starting goalie. I wanted Fury, Marc-Andre Fleury, or Pecorine. But
Pecorine.
I love Hasek, so I have to take him.
If no one takes Ron Tugnut, that's worse than no one taking Wayne Gretzky.
Oh yeah, Gretzky didn't get picked.
Nope. Well, I'm about to take my last center, so maybe. But no. I'll leave that for last. I'll take my backup goalie next.
How come no one took Gretzky?
How come no one took a lot of guys? No one took Lemieux. No one took.
Hold on a second. Don't say it yet until you say your final pick for your forwards.
Okay. So while I'm gonna give my backup goalie first. My backup goalie is a guy I got hooked on him when I was a kid. He played for Carolina. I never watched him play for Carolina once. I was interested in him because I remember Rock'em Sock'em. They'd always do breakdowns of all the playoff series, and I remember the Leafs run at the Cup in 1993, I think, with I think it was 93, right, where they lost in the semifinals to Gretzky.
Yeah.
But they were supposed to run over the San Jose Sharks, and instead they ran directly into a red hot Artis Urbe.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, the greatest, maybe the greatest Latvian hockey player of all time, Artis Urbe.
So our goalies
I could probably use a change of helmets too, like you were saying.
Yeah. We're going with our goalies here, and Brodeur, the most wins. When is it? The most wins hasn't been taken. Wall wasn't taken. So a lot of great goalies.
Yeah. No
Obviously
one
the
took
era.
Ron. No one
Yeah,
took Ron Tugnut.
the
No one
era.
took Red Light Rassico.
The era of our favorite. I guess hockey. We have to go with the goalies there that really, really dominant and really cool. I wasn't here for my Happy Booin pick, but man, did he look fucking awesome and scary through his mask. He was just had,
Dude,
he was very intimidating, man, and in that white and black,
yeah.
outfit Tampa had back then. Oh my goodness!
Out front, he was unreal. The
All
Boolin
right,
Wall.
let me pick my coach then, and then I'll do my.
Players, right? That was your final pick. Was
Yeah, that's it. That wraps up my top four and then my defenseman and my goalies here. So very interesting picks. I don't want to say anything else until you pick your last
my
center
final
there.
center, yeah. And then
But I'm
you
gonna
got to pick your captains too.
okay. I'm gonna go with my coach, a Montreal coach.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go this guy. I'm going old school. This guy was born in 1912.
Oh shit!
He won 8 Stanley Cups. I love him. I watched a documentary on him. I'm gonna go with the good old Toe Blake.
Oh yes, Toe Blake. There you go. You're going real old school. Oh man, he would not stand for any new
No,
school complaining from any of these young whippersnappers like McDavid and Crosby. Like, boy, get back out on that ice.
that's why I chose him. I need someone that's not gonna cater to your needs. That's a lot of what's wrong with hockey, and especially a lot of sports now. They don't want to, get on a bad relationship with the superstars. But you need to listen to your coach. Unfortunately, you can't be soft with your players anymore. That's a big problem with the Maple Leafs. Sheldon Keefe caters to those top four guys. It's time to come down hard on those guys if you're gonna keep them. Good old Toe Blake over here. He
Yeah, he
ain't going.
dropped the.
He ain't going to stand for shit. He gonna
Plus,
give it to him.
you
He
should have
gonna
got Jeff. You should have drafted Jeff Finger because you got Adam Foote, you got Toe Blake.
give I should have took Jeff Finger. that
You're
would.
gonna have like
That
Mike Appendix.
would. Oh, I forgot. I forgot though. When you saying that, I forgot about Michael Pekka. He was
Oh my
really.
good body part.
Yeah. he
Do
was.
you remember there was one NHL game where it said Alexander Semen's name and it sounded like another word too.
Yeah. Alexander Seaman. Yeah.
All
Fuck.
right. All right,
All
you ready
right.
for this last center?
I'm ready for your last center.
All right. This player who my favorite player of the 2010s, a staple of us. You weren't around for me, Jimmy, and David's, and in Ashley, my sister's ex. We had an incredible 6-year dynasty with the San Jose Sharks and NHL 14. This man was started as a fourth liner, worked his way up worked his way up to the second or third line, and the second line the greatest penalty killer of all time, fuck Bob Gainey, the greatest Maple Leaf of all time, the greatest St. Louis Blues of all time, the greatest Carolina Hurricane of all time, and that is the man who is meant to spend his life with me, Mr. Jay McClements.
Oh man.
Come
Good fourth
on.
line defenseman. I like it though.
That's good. He's a good penalty
Can I
killer.
can I name off some centers that were missed?
Absolutely.
Okay. Joe Sakic
He's no
missed.
Jay McClemens. No, Jay McClemens.
Jeremy Roenick.
Jeremy Roenick, yeah.
I was gonna pick this guy as my fourth line center because I actually like him a lot. Adam Oates.
Adam Oates. Wow, what an assist man Adam Oates
Yeah.
was.
Bobby Holik.
Bobby Holik, yeah.
Eric Lindros, Mark
Woo!
Messier.
Complete douchebag, but great hockey
Yeah,
player.
another guy I was going to choose, but I had to take
Not Messi,
Sundin
yeah, not Lindros.
Yashin, Sergei Fedorov.
Fedorov, yeah. I strongly consider Fedorov. Eiserman,
Yeah,
no one.
Eiserman, Kachuk, Madonna, Francis, Newman-Dyke.
Yeah,
Lots of great thing, and we're talking about left wings that weren't chosen. On my list, I got Theo Fleury, Mario Lemieux, Bret Hart, I mean Hall, Glenn Murray, Alex McGillney, St. Louis. I also had Patrick Kane, Pasternak, Perry, like a lot of great players not taken.
yeah. Fucking old school too. Like nobody took will be Esposito, Trottier,
Yeah.
no fucking
No
Gilbert
one took
Perreault.
no one took Tiger Williams.
Yeah, no. No one took Eddie Shack.
Yeah, I really wanted instead of Shanahan, I wanted Keith Primo. Primo, I
Oh,
love
Keith
Keith
Primo.
Primo.
Dude, you know who I can't believe didn't get taken because he's a darling of people our age? Is Alexander McGillney.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
my list. I actually had Marcus Naslin.
Naslund, yes, yes.
Yeah. And then I had Brenda Moore. I had Patrick Eliash. Do you remember this name? Brian Rolston.
Oh, Brian Rolston, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had Brian Rolston. I had Bill Guerin.
Bill Guerin. I remember him with the Bruins, yeah.
I had another tough forward I wanted to put in this line, my son Dean McDonald Clark. I was thinking of putting Gary Roberts, a little
Gary Roberts,
scrapper.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
great,
thought of Gary Roberts
good
on the left
hockey
wing
player.
too. Yeah.
So what I got to do here? You ready? Did your penalty kill and stuff?
Yeah, so I threw up. Well, first I did my captaincy. So I put I made my captain, Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, and
Okay,
then my assistants Stan Nikita and Bob Gainey.
okay. So let me put my captain here. I always loved my captain to be a veteran, especially more or less a defenseman. I love just a stay-at-home defenseman to be a captain, just someone that can lead from the back end. So I'm gonna go with Nicholas Lindstrom
That's the best choice. The guys you
as,
got there, that makes sense.
as my
There's
C. I'm gonna go with my assistants now. I'm gonna give it to somebody that can score. I'm gonna go Yager. And I'm gonna go with a veteran here and Robitaille over these younger guys until they earn it. Those will be my captain and assistant captains. What'd you do for your power play and penalty kill there?
So my power play, I matched up Korean and Solani on the wings with Datsuk at center, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
used top line pairing on defense, Niedermeyer, Larry Robinson, and then on the penalty kill, I got Keon at center, Gainey on the wing, and then Rob Blake and Jovanovski back at the blue line.
Oh, nice. Okay. So my penalty kill, I'm gonna have this is interesting. I got a lot of matchups here. Tough guys. I'm gonna go with just my first line pairing. So I'm gonna put Lindstrom. I'm gonna go Lindstrom and Pronger here. I got just a steady defenseman. I got reach here, a big body. Hopefully, he'll block some shots. I don't really have a big penalty killing um forward here in center. The best one I probably have, I'd have to go with Yashin, so I'll put him here.
Yeah, I
Crosby,
guess.
Crosby, McDavid, Sundin aren't going to want to get hit by a puck, so I'm gonna have to
I wonder if
hopefully.
Lanny take a face off.
Yeah, he could, but whatever. I have him as a left wing, so I'm going to keep him there.
Yeah,
And then on the wing here, I'm going to go with Shanahan.
Shanahan. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Actually, I should have put Yan. I was going position based, so I fucking should have put him there.
Yeah.
But okay, this one's gonna be tough here. But I guess for the penalty kill and power play, I don't have to go position based, right? So I didn't have
No,
to
no,
really.
you can have it pretty open.
Yeah. All right, let me scratch this then. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with actually Clark here.
Clark instead of Shanahan or
Yeah, instead of Yakin. So I'll
instead of
Clark
Yakin.
here.
Okay.
All right. This is actually tough because I got a lot of scoring forwards here.
Yeah, yeah. How do you eliminate like one of those got one of those forwards because they're all such great scorers?
Hmm. Fuck. Yeah, my top line could be a power play.
Yeah, that's a nasty top line.
Hmm.
That's tough, eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Crosby here as my center. That is tough because I'm just thinking my top line because this right here is a scoring line on
Yeah.
ability. So I'm just gonna stick with that. I'm just gonna stick with
Yeah.
Ovi, Crosby.
If you if you were to switch like Yager and Bure, I feel like you're still it's maybe a little downgrade. Like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking here. I wanted to put Brewery there. Either way,
it's
these
just like
teams.
it's nice because Ovechkin's like the guy that's like the best, like at just putting the puck in the net. You got Crosby there to facilitate, and then Yager's like a nice combination of both.
Absolutely. And then on the power play here, I'm gonna go Lindstrom again.
Oh, and I know who else. You got the
I want
best
that.
friend.
I want that big shot.
Yeah, damn right. You got a great power play guy there. And McKinnis on the power play from the blue line. Oh man, watch the fuck out.
Okay, so this is our picks for anyone there. I wonder
Oh,
if they
my
find it
coach. I
interesting.
didn't get my
Oh,
coach.
you didn't get your coach yet,
No, no.
buddy. You had a half an hour talking to the fans, man. Well, honestly, you're talking to yourself, but anyways.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, I was real tempted to go with like Scotty Bowman here, maybe even Ken Hitchcock, but I'm going with a guy saw stuff from my childhood again. So obviously very special to me. It was the 2002 Canada gold medal team. I'm going with Mr. Pat Quinn.
Oh, good pick.
Pat Quinn always just like, even though he could get heated behind the bench, he always just seemed like to be a really nice guy too.
Yeah. Remember that time he got hit in the face with the puck?
Yeah, I do remember that. He took it like a champ though.
Yeah. So let's do a quick breakdown here. I guess I'll give a breakdown of my team if you can't read my board. My
Yeah.
first line here, I'm going left wing, Alexander Ovechkin. My center is going to be Crosby. My right wing is going to be Yager. My second line, left wing, I'm going to have Robitaille. I'm going to have McDavid in the middle. And I'm going to have Burry on the right. And then my third, it's going to be a kind of tough, big checking line. I'm going to have McDonald. I'm going to have Sundin and Clark. And then my fourth line, it's going to be skill, but a lot of grinding with basically a lot of all stars here. Shanahan, Yashin, and Iginla. And then my defense here, I'm going to round out with my captain. I think he's the greatest defenseman to play the game. I'm going to go with Lindstrom. My partner here is going to be Pronger. It's going to be my main shutdown defensive pair. I got someone that has the smarts. He can do everything pretty much perfect. And then I got someone that's a big body, big reach, big stick. Hopefully, he can get into the passing lane. Someone that's going to block some shots. My second line pairing got McKinnis and Rafalski. Again, a sturdy defenseman in Rafalski. Very underrated. Was great on those early Detroit teams. McKinnis has that big shot I want coming from the point. Then I got a tough line here. No nonsense. Adam Foote, Hatcher. And then I'm going to round out my goalies here. My starting goalie is going to be Hasek. I want him flopping around like a fish. He's going to be everywhere. And then if he's playing like shit, I'm going to go with the sturdy goalie and Nikolai Happy Bulin, and they're going to be coached by Toe Blake.
Oh. Not Jason Blake?
Oh fuck. We gave him a giant contract too.
After you don't, yeah, so
We
bad.
gave a 40-year-old Jason Blake a big contract after he had one good season. Put up
Yeah,
so
'cause
good.
when a guy has his best goal scoring season in his late 30s, that couldn't be a fluke, right? Like, who would have saw that coming?
Wow. All right, buddy.
uh,
Round out your team here.
all right. So my first line, I got a left wing. I got my favorite player as a child, Mr. Paul Correa. Center, I've got one of my old school favorite players all time, Mr. Stan Mikita.
Mm-hmm.
Right captain of my squad, Mr. Hockey himself, Gordie Howe. Also, I got a flash at some point. There's Gordie and Grandma Ford right there.
That's a great
Even at
picture.
that age, Gordie Howe beat my ass.
Where
Yeah,
where was that at a signing, or did you guys just see him?
no, I think it's a signing. I wasn't there. That's a long time ago too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
my
sweet
grandparents
picture.
were very involved in hockey. My grandparents actually were like a billet family for Brampton Battalion. They were like Brampton
Oh,
Battalion super fans. Yeah.
wow,
Uh,
that's pretty cool.
that's why I'm shocked Brian Little didn't make this squad because I used to go to like Colts Battalion games every year, and Brian Little would always come through, and that way I could always rub it in on my grandma.
What a great OHL! What a great OHL player he was. He
Incredible.
did do well in the NHL, but not as great as I think everyone thought he was going to do. But he did good
Yeah.
though.
It was difficult not to put him at that fourth line. Him and then the other guy when I first moved up here, the guy that was like the best player on the Colts. You will remember him because he was a Montreal Canadian for most of our childhood. Mr. Jan Bulis, remember him?
Oh, Jan
He was like
Bulis.
the Colts best guy when I first moved up here too.
Actually, it's crazy. The Barrie Colts has a crazy array of great players that played for them that
Yeah,
are in the NHL. It's actually crazy.
the last 10, 15 years, yeah, they've had quite a lot of skill come through there. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, so Gordie Howe ran out the wingers on my first line forwards. Second line forwards, I got my assistant captain, the defense, Bob Gainey, paired
Mhm.
up with the skill and creativity of Pavel Datsuk at center, the speed and goal scoring of Timo Solani on the wing. Then I go down my
Yeah.
second line. I got the size to clean up in front of the net with Kevin Stevens. I got the grit and playmaking of speedy little Davey Keon out there, as well as the scoring of Ziggy Palfy. Then I moved
Yeah.
into my fourth line, where my fourth line is far inferior to your fourth line, but I have the most feared man in hockey history, Mr. Bob Probert. The man who I hope objects at my wedding, Jay McClement, and the man who scored the real golden goal, Mr. Anson Carter.
I agree with
And
It's
then on
funny, you have such a tough bastard there, but Shanahan and Aguila would mix it up with them. They might not win, but
they would. And you know what? If it was Chicago Probert when he was sober, they might even have a chance. But yeah, my defensive pairings got Niedermeyer and Mr. Niedermeyer and Larry Robinson is my first pairing. It's like the size of Robinson, the skill of Niedermeyer, and just the combination of their skating skill.
yeah.
Got Blake and Horton on the second pairing, Jovanovski and Volchenkov on the second or on the third, and then I rounded out with my goaltenders. NHL '97 cover man, Mr. John Van Beesbrook, and the pride of Latin, Artis Urbe, coached by gold medal winning coach, Mr. Pat Quinn.
I think we had interesting picks. I think a lot of our era will appreciate it, but we did miss some big stars,
Yeah,
especially the
like
biggest, especially
the
the biggest
greatest
one of
hockey
all
player
time,
of all time.
Gretzky. I just honestly I didn't know how his game would fit in my squad. Like
Yeah. He's a
he's not
guy
a
though. I've discussed it with people before. Like I think that Gretzky, man, if Gretzky played in the league now, he would be even better. Like everything that was that Gretzky, all the things that Gretzky didn't possess back in the day. The only things he couldn't do back in the day are things that don't even matter anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
like he would just have open ice to just work his magic. Like he would just, and then with a modern stick and stuff,
Yeah,
like
imagine that snapshot with a curve on it. Like,
I'm
holy.
saying, like, oh my god, like I just
And
think he would just,
his vision behind the net, he would just be getting holding calls all day, holding and hacking calls. I just didn't think he could fit where I was going with my team here. So
yeah,
nothing against the all-time great. We even like we said, Messier, Lemieux, a lot of those bigger name Canadian guys didn't get taken. So
yeah.
uh,
No Guy Lafleur, no Mike Bossy, no Brett
no,
Hall,
no.
no Marcel Dion.
Big time scorers didn't get taken. But I think we're both happy with our team. I think we ended up actually getting all the players we wanted to. There
No,
wasn't
because you
one
got
guy.
Lindstrom. The only steal
Uh,
in this draft was you taking Lindstrom. I didn't. That came out of left field. I never thought your first pick was going to be Lindstrom. I figured I could get Howe in before I took Lindstrom. Like,
yeah. No, I like when we first came up with the idea. I'm like, my first pick has to be Lindstrom. He is the best
yeah,
defenseman I've ever seen play the game. He just does
absolutely.
everything so good. So I want.
God,
I was assuming you were gonna think I was gonna pick Sundin first.
I also realized I just fucked up too because like I was like when you took Lindstrom, I'm like okay, I didn't have any my heart set on any like when I took Blake, I'm like I just want to get another like absolute elite Hall of
You should
Fame
have picked
defense.
Chelios.
No, it wasn't Chelios I was thinking. I'm like, and I'm not a huge Ray Bork guy, so but I'm like,
Yeah.
why not Bobby Orr? You could just take Bobby Orr.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to pair McKennis with Eric Carlson. So I wanted that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what my initial one was, but I was like, I seen I had Rafalski, and I'm like, I like Rafalski. I've always liked Rafalski, man. He's a good, solid defenseman to have. You can rely on that guy. He's never gonna. And
yeah,
Carlson's never won. He's won titles for himself, individual, but he's never taken a team somewhere or been somewhere where his minutes count. Right? Rafalski,
yeah.
he's been there. Obviously, he's not the guy,
He
but he's
has the
been.
experience in those games.
Yeah, he's been
This-
in those hard series against Colorado that we talked about. Um,
yeah,
insanely hard series. So I think our
there's
team
another
is
level of
interesting.
intensity.
Very
Hey,
interesting. Very
yeah, well,
interesting.
the wrestling draft was a lot more even. I do think this one. I think your team probably smashes my team. Like modern rules, your team obliterates my team. I think dead puck era, it's a closer game, but I think you still win like 1-0.
I think I have a lot of upfront speed and skill.
Yeah, just you have their top lines are just overwhelm my top lines with skill. Where my
Yeah,
off probably have more grit, but at the end of the day, both our teams have plenty of grit.
yeah. Like Ovechkin can throw a hit. McDonald, Clark, Shanahan, McGinley. They're
Yeah,
they're tough
Clark,
bastards. I worry
Dean
about
can take a hit.
obviously these three my centers here are not going to be those type of players. Sundin, Sundin will learn the hit under Toe Blake. Toe
Blake,
Blake.
he's gonna make him throw that body around. Strap on
But
that
no,
Jofa helmet from your Nordique days and throw that big body around, Sundin.
I think
Mats.
I think we do well. I think we like we said, we don't just pick, some of the highest stats guys. We do have guys with good stats, but not, overall leaders all time. We did miss out on, key guys. Set up won a lot of Stanley Cups, done amazing things. But I think it's a fun team. We both selected guys that we love. We've watched growing up. Um, we definitely got to do a basketball one. I think that'll be fun for
Yeah,
both of us.
I think 2 weeks from now sounds good. We'll do our. We've already done our top 10 albums, so we like we announced earlier in the episode. We're gonna do our. We're gonna do what 20 to 11 or 15 to 11.
No, we'll do 11 to 20, right?
Yeah, yeah, okay. So the top for we're rounding out our top 20. You've already seen our top 10, so we'll give you the bottom 10 of the top 20.
Yeah.
And
So we'll do that.
we will do our basketball fantasy team draft, baby. And we'll see
Yeah.
let's see if Michael Jordan gets left off that.
I honestly don't think so. I don't think Michael's gonna get
Yeah, I
left.
don't think so. I don't think so. You're picking two guards or something. Maybe LeBron though. We could both pick different threes than LeBron. I
Yeah,
pick
we got
Bird over LeBron, bro.
we should make the rules that your bench players can't be players that made the All-Star game.
What if they made the All-Star game as a bench player? Like what about like
Okay.
Ginobili?
Yeah, that's fine, but they can't be like
What
a
about only
super
your what about
like
only your sixth man could be an All-Star?
okay, that's fine. Because I don't want you to have we can't just have you pick, Akeem Olajuwon and then have Shaq on the bench.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you want
We could
those two to go head to head, right?
we'll discuss it over the next couple weeks. Maybe we can even have more hybrid rules, like only so many Hall of Famers or something. So that way you have to pick some few role players and shit or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure out something fun. But for anyone who watches this, I hope you guys watch it. I know it's a little long video. I apologize that I was away from the video here and there, but I had to deal with some family stuff. Lisa wasn't my next door neighbor knocking on my door at 1 a.m. But please, in the comments below, comment what team's better, who wins,
Yeah.
who wins the Stanley Cup Final in a 7-game series. Is it more grit and toughness versus speed and skill? Who wins? It's even. It's even both ways here and there. Our defense, I find, are very, very even. So
Yeah.
if our goaltending is going to be even, so it's about who gets hot and when and where. So who wins? It's up to the fans here. So please leave a comment and decide.
Yep. And we'll be back next time with better Sharpies.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Until next time.
Thanks for watching.